Hey everyone, it's Rachel. So I wanted to film a quick video and just let you know my thoughts. I watched Hocus Pocus 2 last night, and also if you see me start to like run away real quick, there's a stink bug that flew in my house, and I have a very irrational fear of stink bugs. Like, I literally felt paralyzed for a minute after I saw it fly into the house. And I was doing dishes and it's in the kitchen, so I kept like dropping the dishes and running out of the kitchen because it kept flying. It went on top of a cupboard and I can't see it now, so I'm just kind of like standing. I have my bug catching jar. I'm just waiting for it to like get down low enough so that I can trap it. I hate stink bugs so much. Anyway, Hocus Pocus 2. So I had my reservations about it after seeing like the first minute or two of the movie. Okay, also, this isn't gonna be a no spoiler one like most of them are. I am actually gonna be talking about the movie, so if you haven't seen it yet or you don't wanna know specific spoilers, then okay, so I'll give my no spoiler right now and then I'll give my spoilers later. So no spoiler. I had my reservations about it in the first little bit, and then it engaged me, and then I was a little iffy again, and it really got me at the end. It did make me cry at the end. I think it's worth a watch. I've heard very mixed reviews on it. Personally, I enjoyed it, and I think I like it better than the first one. But it might just be age. I don't know. I think I liked it better than the first one, just a little bit. Yeah, I'd say I'd rate it probably like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I will say the thing that I wasn't as big a fan of in this one as I was the first one is I didn't really like the songs as much in the second one as I did I think the songs in the first one are better than the one in the second. But I think everything else, now it was pretty predictable. That didn't really bother me though. I knew going into the movie that it was gonna be pretty predictable. But yeah, I don't know, I enjoyed it. I would recommend it. And if it's not your cup of tea, then it's not your cup of tea. Like I said, I've heard I feel like you either really like it or you hate it. And honestly, I think the first one's that way too. It's interesting how a movie can be like that. But yeah, so that's my no spoiler. I would really recommend it. It did make me cry near the end of the movie. Hit me in my feels. But yeah, I would recommend watching it and then forming an opinion for yourself. I do think that you do need to see the first one to see the second one and like fully understand it, because they reference a lot of the stuff in the first movie. So if you haven't seen the original movie, I would recommend watching that before the second one, just so you have that context. But yeah, I enjoyed it. Spoilers time. Okay. If you haven't seen it, you don't want spoilers, check out another video. Okay, spoiler time. So when it opened, I was a little hesitant because I wasn't sure how much of the young backstory we were gonna get. And I was worried they were gonna play it real over the top, but they didn't. That's the one thing that wasn't predictable for me. I was afraid that they were gonna go really way far out, and they didn't. Actually, the opening, with like the bird flying over with the music and everything, it actually was very reminiscent to me of Harry Potter, and a little bit Series of Unfortunate Events, the Netflix series, but more Harry Potter. So yeah, I was a little nervous, but then actually by the time we got to like the end of when they're young and like the intro into the movie, I actually wouldn't mind having a third Hocus Pocus that focused more on their youth, as long as they don't go over the top. And I think it would be really easy to do, to play it up real big. So as long as they don't do that, I'm in for a Hocus Pocus 3 with the kids. Because I think that would be interesting to go more on, like, okay, why were they alone? You know, answer this. I keep looking over because I see the stink bug now and I'm making sure it doesn't fly again. Yeah. Then it goes into present day. And, you know, it got pretty predictable with the storyline of, like, you know, the trio of friends and, you know, one of them drifts away and there's like there's a falling out and, you know, teen drama, everything's the end of the world kind of thing. So I was also a little afraid that they were going to lean heavy into that, and I'm glad they didn't, because I think it really would have ruined the movie. But yeah, the new characters that they introduced, I think were almost all likable. Actually, I think just about all of them were likable. I did, like, laugh out loud a couple of times, just at, like, some of the references. But, yeah, no, I think the writing for this one was pretty well done in terms of introducing new characters and reintroducing old characters. Part of me liked the scene in Walgreens where they go in to, like, find the potions or whatever, but the other part of me thought that they really played it up a little bit too much. That's just a personal opinion. I was getting I think they spent a little too long in Walgreens, but it was funny. Like I said, the songs, they're fine. But it's nothing like, you know, I Put a Spell on You. Doesn't top that, in my opinion. Yeah, and then bringing everyone back and then having references to the first film with, just like, you know, who they put curses on and all of that. The one thing that they never really referenced, and, like, you get a feeling that it's, I can't remember his name right now, but the cat in the first one, you kind of get a feeling that the, I think his name's Gilbert, the magic shopkeeper, that his cat is that cat, just because of how it was behaving. But they never fully addressed it when the curse was lifted. Like, what happened to the cat? They never went back and addressed that, and I kind of wish that they would have. Hey, God bless. It's over there, honey. Bear's been trying to get it too, so it's a team effort, really. Poor Simba. He's like, Mom, we're supposed to cuddle by now. Honey, Mommy's scared of the bug, and I need to finish putting the dishes away. I don't know what to do about that. It's stuck. Anyway. Yeah, and then I was pretty invested. Normally when I, like, watch movies or TV shows, I'm, like, working on something else, or I'm, like, scrolling on my phone or whatever. But also because I knew I was making this video, I wanted to pay particular attention to the movie. But I only lost interest a few times in the movie, and that's just honestly my attention span. So it was pretty engaging throughout. But yeah, the ending where she realizes that to be all powerful, because you know she skips the warning, she has to give up what she cherishes the most, and then her sisters completely like disappear, like Thanos snap style. That one, that's the part that made me cry. And I'm like, oh my god. And Bette Midler's fantastic. I've always thought that. She's amazing. So her acting during that part was phenomenal. And that's part of what made me cry. But, yeah. And then they went cheesy over the top, so then I stopped crying. But that whole scene in the graveyard, and then when she decides she doesn't want her powers anymore, she just wants them back. And they do the reunification spell, but instead of bringing them back, it sends her to them. Just like ending the Sanderson sisters' rule in Salem overall was also very sad. But that one was more of like a happy cry. But yeah, the movie screwed with my emotions just a little bit. But it was very good. It wasn't that scary, so that's also nice. I'm glad they dropped it the last day of September. I think that was very smart on their part. But yeah, I very thoroughly enjoy the movie. Here, honey, I'll move that for you. Like I said, I'd rate it like a 7 or 8 out of 10. Would definitely recommend giving it a watch as long as you've seen the original before you watch it, just for the context. And then also you can compare it to like the first one or the second one. Actually, let me know. Do you even like the original Hocus Pocus? I can't imagine you'd be watching this video now if you didn't, but what are your thoughts on the original versus the sequel? Because it's very polarizing. And I'm curious. So let me know your thoughts. Honey, it's over here. It's on your wall. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also feel free to check out the links in my description box. It'll take you to my Etsy shop, my Patreon to support my small business. I would greatly appreciate it if you want to check it out. If not, that's fine. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.